Hey everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
Hello, my name is Catherine Asaro Myers, and I like to walk into the room and say, Rara's in the house. And I'm here with my partner.
Hey everyone, I am Lori Delk.
Tonight, I'm talking to you from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. A few days ago, I wouldn't have been able to say that, which is what our subject is tonight. Lori, you're back home, right?
I am back home as well. Yes.
So, we have a great subject tonight to train on and to teach on. It's about retreats. Have you ever been on a retreat? And it doesn't matter what kind, just have you ever been on one? So Lori and I just came back from one, not our first retreat, but one, most recent one was just 2 days ago, right? 2 days ago. So Sunday, and today's Tuesday. So we were there, and we want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that we experienced and some of the tips that I think made this retreat different than any other. So we were both in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we were part of a very small elite group, I'd like to say, a select group from our company. And Lori, do you want to give any details?
Can?
Okay, so we were with our Send Out Cards company, and Lori and I are both executives with Send Out Cards. So we were two of 71 people who qualified and were invited, and there were probably a little bit less than that there. So that's a really nice, intimate group. And when you're going to a retreat, I sort of, I want to know, what do you do? How do you get ready? I did everything different this time. So, Lori, maybe I'll just give a few of the things that I did differently, and they're more on a personal level. So, I decided this retreat that first of all, I decided when I was going to go, and I made sure that everything was aligned. So, that worked out. So, that's qualified and invited. First case in point. Next was, I wanted to go with a carry-on. Now I'm going to tell you some silly things. Like, I wanted to go to this retreat light. I wanted to carry on luggage. I wanted to go and come back as quickly as possible so that I could be home because I needed to do something on Sunday night. So I did something I've never done. I put everything in one piece of luggage. I flew to Scottsdale via connection. I normally would only go direct. And I came back on a red eye flight, which had me up for 36 hours. And I made a stop. I had made a connection on that flight, which is why it was so economical. I'd like to tell you, it's really great to go on retreats when they're economical. And I made it back in time on Sunday morning, having been up for 36 hours. Lori, I'll let you tell some of your tips, and then I'll come back to some things that I don't even know if I told you what happened with the resort. So there'll be some fun tips. So how about you? What did you do to prepare for your retreat, our retreat?
So for me, mine was different also going this time to the retreat. One, I am a typical girl, as they say, of way overpacking, making sure I have everything I want, extra shoes, extra dresses, extra coats, whatever. But this time I was actually being in three different states and three different time zones all within 1 week. So I had to be a little bit more strategic, especially since I didn't have one of my sons carrying my luggage for me or anything like that. So
Hmm.
so I left Nashville on Wednesday, and I was speaking at an empowering women event in Boston on Thursday. So I was also bringing a lot of my books. I have two best-selling books out there, and so I was bringing those to offer to the people that would like to buy them after I spoke at this event. So I had to have room for a bunch of books. I had to have my clothes for this event in Boston. I was there for 2 days, and it was like 20s degrees there. And then I was flying direct from Nashville to Boston, and then Boston to Phoenix, and then Phoenix back to Nashville. So then I was going to 70 degrees, 75-degree weather. And so I had to have the clothes for this retreat at our leadership retreat there. And, and so, and I didn't want to have to pack 2 suitcases. Like I contemplated, I have 2 cute little suitcases that match. Actually, one's really big and then one's medium size, but I didn't want to pack 2 suitcases because even though once I get to the airport, I am one of those that always checks my bags. I like to go on the plane with my purse and my little carry-on with my laptop. That's it. And so, but I still have to deal with it going from the car to the airport till I check them in. And then once I got to Boston, I would have to take it, from the airport to my ride to the hotel, and then the car into the hotel. And then Friday morning, I was leaving. I had to leave my hotel suite at 4 a.m. to catch a 6 a.m. flight to get to Phoenix by noon. So anyway, so I didn't want to have to bring a whole lot. So I was very strategic of figuring out exactly what I am going to actually wear and nothing more and nothing less, and bring exactly those items. And I fit all those items and my books all in one suitcase. And so I was really proud of myself that I actually did that.
You should be.
But we should be strategic in a lot of things, right? And I am in a lot of things, and I am still in my packing, but I also like to have lots of extras just in case, a girl likes to change her mind. And this time I just didn't have that option.
You planned it out. Yes. And that's what I did too. I planned it out. I actually only didn't wear 3 pieces of clothing, believe it or not. So that worked out really nicely. So we both had that in mind, to be compact. And I wanted to try, that was the first time for me to not check my bag. And now I really want to see if I can go with a smaller carry-on, because on some of those smaller planes, they take it and they put it underneath. But if it were half the size, which would have been physically impossible, they can actually go, because they don't have licenses, those smaller planes that seat 80. You can't bring a carry-on. The overheads are just like that big. So they have to be almost computer size. So I saw some people that were traveling. It looked like they were probably going overnight. And I have one of those, but 2 nights in a retreat, that might have been tough because I wouldn't have had enough clothes. But that was one thing. So go to a retreat and really challenge yourself to make things simpler and see if that works out. The other thing I wanted to share was I was really treated like queen at this resort. There were a few little things that happened, like something with the water in the room, and then the lock didn't work, and then my door was open, and I don't know why it was open when I went back in. I had locked it, and then we were trying to figure out what happened. I really kept very cool about it, but I told the front desk, and the front desk didn't know what to do for me. So they came up with, "We will pay for your food." I said, "Well, you don't have to, because my food is pretty much being paid for." And they said, "Well, there must be some meals that aren't being paid for. So we're going to put," and they asked me not to tell anyone, so I won't say the name of the resort. "So we're going to put $60 on your account." And I thought, okay, fantastic. Now, the funny story was, when I went to go get my food, I wear reading glasses or computer glasses. I could not read the menu. It was dark and the print was really small. So I did something that I guess would just make sense. I said, "Could I have organic brown rice, steamed vegetables, and avocado for dinner?" And they said, "Absolutely." And for breakfast, I said, "Could I have fruit and avocado?" I didn't know what the menu said. I just asked for what I wanted and I got it. So I want to give you this tip. Ask for what you want. It didn't matter about the menu. It made no difference. There's a kitchen. Maybe the pricing was a little bit off, but the resort paid for my food. Then there's something called a resort fee. So when you go and you book your hotel, there's like $30 or $40 US or whatever it is each day that you pay for the use of the resort. This resort removed those fees for me because of my inconvenience. So when I went to check out, I had a 0 balance. Now, I don't know if you've ever gone anywhere and it's been 0, but I've been traveling all my life and this is a first. So I basically did not charge one thing pay for one thing other than what was prepaid for my trip. And I came home and there was no time to do anything. I couldn't get into a duty free if I wanted to. My connections had 50 minutes. And I landed at one end of the airport. And of course, when you land in a little small plane and you go to a big plane, you have to go across that whatever, 4 terminals. So both cities, I had to do that, which gave me just enough time, shuttle bus and all. So there was no time for shopping. There was no time to spend any money. I was truly immersed and engaged in what we were doing. And that's another tip I want to give you before I pass you back to Lori. Aside from having all these really great things happen to me by being nice and explaining to the resort what was going on, I immersed myself in the information. So I didn't have any shiny pennies or anything to really take my mind off of it. Because I also knew what I did to get there with having to go to an airport and go from, one terminal to the furthest possible terminal to get there. I knew I needed to be in focus mode, and I stayed like that the whole time. What about you, Lori?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was it too. So when I got there on Friday at 12:30, I landed, and then so I got to the resort right at 1 o'clock, right after lunch was done, after I'd been traveling all morning. So luckily somebody saved me a plate of lunch, so that was sweet. But then we like immediately, boom, got into, working, and because it was like this retreat was kind of like a mastermind, right? It was like we were getting to work, we were getting busy, and working. And so it was it was a lot. It was a lot of information. It was but it was good, right? It was like, let's go, let's get busy, let's get it done. Right. And I knew it was going to be kind of, back to back like that with this situation. Right. But that's it. You decide what you want to do, and you decide, how you want to be, where you want to be. I had given my word that I was going to do this event and speak at this event, and it was absolutely wonderful, and met a lot of great people. And then our leadership retreat came up after I'd already committed to this event, so, but I didn't want to miss that either. So, so I did. I rearranged my flight and made a direct flight directly from Boston to Phoenix, and, worked it out that way. And that's one thing too, is, whether it's a retreat or an event or anything in your life that you want to do, or in your professional life that you want to do, personally or professionally, is you just decide, right? First thing is deciding. And then the second thing is being dedicated to do and follow through and, make it happen no matter what, right?
Yes, take the action. So that's what we did. So we're sharing this information with you for a few reasons. This is real life. This is what just happened. We want to share some of the ways that we move and do things, that we do new things, we try new things because situations come up, and we want to make sure that we're more efficient and that we do things better, and remaining positive and focusing and having time for meditation. And whether you take time for prayer or meditation, whatever you call what you do, exercise, yoga, whatever it is, keep that as part of your routine so that you can remain grounded. We thought that if we shared this with you today, it would give you perhaps some tips. Maybe you have something that you'd like to share with us. Maybe you would like to let us know what you're doing. And we're here. We're here every single month, and you can reach us. So, Lori, is there anything you want to add to that, or let some of our audience know how to get with us if they have any questions about coaching and training?
Yeah, so absolutely. So I wanted to add a couple things. So we have some surprises coming up, right? So
Yep.
we have some announcements that are coming, and we're not giving all the details just yet, but we are having a Gratitude Girls retreat. So we're going to have a retreat coming up, and we are also going to have a Gratitude Live event. So look forward to watch us, look out for when we announce those, where and when, all of the details. We look forward to sharing with you. And then, yes, if you have any questions for anything that you would like us to train on, or anything that you would like to ask us, anything like that at all, go to facebook.com/gratitudegirls and hit message right there. When you do it that way, that message goes right to Catherine and I both together automatically. And so, and then we will get back with you and let us know, give us your contact information of how you want us to respond back to you. Also, if it's not for any reason, right back in that message.
Yes, and so remember the words retreat and live. Gratitude Girls Retreat, Gratitude Girls Live. We want you to be there. So we're going to give you tips along the way on how we travel, and maybe that will be part of what you do in order to get with us on what we have planned. Lori, this was fun. This is a really fun trip. I'm looking forward to the next one.
I am too. Yes. And we will see you guys next month. Same time, same place, same bat channel, right?
Yes, yes. And if you have any questions, just get in touch with us. We're really having fun. So who knows, maybe we'll be in your city between now and then. So stay close to us. Let us know where you're at and where you're tuning in from so that we can get together and stay close. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
We
you,
are the
everyone.
Gratitude Girls.
Good night.